Hello, here I am again. I'm wanting to show you just a little flowers for April, and of course we're almost at Easter now. Very simple, very easy, and I'm not using floral foam again. I'm trying not to do that because it's always been difficult to buy it, hasn't it, through this lockdown time. So what I've got is a little basket. What's better for Easter and April than a little basket? So a little basket I have, and in the basket I've got a container that used to have mushrooms in. You can either use that size, which I've put in slightly diagonally, or I could have used that one, which is slightly larger, more rectangular, and it would have just sat in straight. And I've done that, although the basket is lined with plastic, I've done it so that to make sure that there's no drips, because I'm notorious with dripping water everywhere. And inside the little plastic container, I've got two jam jars. Here's one, I've got the water in that one. And here's the other one, I haven't even taken the label off that one. And a little bottle. Now I better put the water in now before I forget, because you know, it wouldn't be any good if it hadn't got water in it. So let's just get some water in. Of course, when you're filling it up, you won't be able to lift them out like that, so but while they're half empty we can. And just a little bit more into that one. There we are. So three little containers I've got, and they, because my plastic container I put in diagonally, then they are obviously in a diagonal angle. So what I've been and done is I've been around the garden and I've found a whole collection of little things. This is a time in the gardens that very often there are small plants that are growing, small flowers, and so it's a joy to be able to show them off. So I've got one little sort of bunch here I've gathered together, a little bunch of things. Let me show you what I've got in it. I've got some white heather, I've got a little, I'll hold it up here, I've got a little bit of pink heather, I've got a tiny daffodil, I've got a little blue hyacinth. Can you see that little blue hyacinth? It's a single one. It's one that obviously I've had as a double one in the house and then planted in the garden. And then some little pieces of foliage. Little piece of this lovely grey, what I call Senecio, which now has a horrible name, which I can always forget. A little bit of osmanthus. This is lovely dark green with little white flowers which smell quite sweet. A little bit of the dark Pittosporum, the Tom Thumb. And just, I've fixed that up, I've tied it up with a little bit of tape just to give me a start. But I also want to add, well, I'll add a bit of my white heather. And I've got a couple of other flowers I want to put in here. A little bit of my rhododendron. This is my first rhododendron, and you see I've taken all the leaves off because unfortunately my rhododendron is absolutely smothered, the lower part of it, with horrible little bugs that leave a very black deposit on the leaves, and it really is horrid. So I've taken all the leaves off, but the flowers are not hurt at all, so I just put that in, and I've put it in quite high. I'm making the bottoms even. And then I have a little tulip, one of my first early little tulips. It's so sweet. I'll pop that in. And oops, another little piece of the Senecio Grayi. I'm just making it in my hand a little sort of bunch. Nothing difficult about it. You just make a little bit of a bunch. And this is one of the bigger tulips, which is in one of my tubs, but is sort of come ahead of the others and is a bit floppy. So I thought, well, I'll pick it and then it can be part of my bunch. And then all you do is you put your bunch very carefully into your jam jar. So, you know, it's back to basics here. We've got a lovely little jam jar full of plant material. And because it's all mixed colours, it doesn't matter which way you put it in, it looks pretty anyway. So then I've got another jam jar and I've got another little bunch of flowers. Again, very similar. I've got some rhododendron, I've got a little bit of the green hellebore here, some skimmia that's in blossom, a little bit of muscari, the grape hyacinth, and a little bit of another, that's right, this is the one I really wanted to put in. This is a beautiful hyacinth. It must have been perhaps a bulb last year, so it hasn't gone single yet. It's still very, very floriferous and it smells gorgeous. And what else? A little collection of things I've got here. A little bit more foliage, I think that will do. And then I'm going to pop that into the other jar. Just put it in, let it arrange itself really. And that leaves my little bottle. So I thought I could put something a little bit higher in that. And what I've gathered together here is a nice piece of the osmanthus, very last little piece of my Coreopsis, which is such a pretty little shrub, and just one of the big daffodils, which I've rescued. I find the big daffodils a bit overpowering, other than in the garden. So let's just pop those into the little bottle, and they'll stand up a little bit proud of the other things, to give me a little bit of variation of the height. Now, can you see that? I'm turning it round to you. It's as colourful at the back as it is at the front, I think, so that it's an all-round arrangement, but I can still lift it up quite easily. But just because it's coming to Easter, I've got I went out into the garden and I scrabbled about in our lawn, supposedly grass lawn, and I found a lovely amount of moss here. Beautiful moss, just scraped it out with a fork. And I put it into one of these tiny little terracotta pots. And I made, my version of a nest. And then I found one of my little stone eggs that I collect, and this one I think came from Norway. Doesn't matter, but there we are. And so I think that's all I need to do. I've got another piece of lovely heather here, so I'm just going to pop that in the back as well, just so that it just drapes over the side a little bit of the basket, just to give it a little bit of extra. There we are. Let's turn it round to you, and that's all there is to it. It's so pretty. It could be transported to give to a friend or take to a nursing home or whatever, and it will give such a lot of pleasure to somebody, as well as to yourself, hopefully, and to your family if they are allowed to come and see you. So that's my very quick one for April, and I wish you all a very happy Easter. Thank you.